What is going on, my people? Another episode of Flobo saw it on Netflix. This is the show where we peruse the archives of Netflix content. I know you have so many different streaming options. People have asked, how come there isn't a Flobo saw it on Amazon Prime or a Flobo saw it on Disney Plus? I was like, you know what? For a long time, Netflix was the gold standard. Maybe some people even argue it is the gold standard when it comes to streaming services. And plus, I want to be able to discover new content or different content or original stuff that get to share it with you. Thank you so much for being a part of this journey. And even though I'm not using the word journey, it has been a little bit of a journey slash adventure and getting the show off the ground. For a lot of people out there on planet Earth, this is their only slice of Flopito, Flobo Boys. I'm the host here, but I'm going to give a shout out to those people living and hanging out in Papua New Guinea, in Denmark, in South Africa, in England, in Laos for checking out this show all around the world. It means a lot to me that you guys are just tapping in. That's great. And even though I want to say we talk about movies and TV shows on the main show, we have a way for you to get even more of this episode. Every month, I go over a comedy special as a working comedian myself over at my Patreon, patreon.com/Flobo Boys. We call it the Boisterous Crew. You're invited to join and get yourself unlocked bonus material. It's my birthday month here in June. And so on the Patreon, we're doing some crazy things, trying some extra things as well. I'm recording this on the 14th day of June, and I just got back from seeing Top Gun Maverick, which is a movie that I guess I enjoy, even though it really tries really hard to be cool. But that's not the issue for another time. But I still had a little bit of a appetite for military and military-esque movies. This one is Interceptor, starring Elsa Pataky, who to a lot of people is either known as Elena from the Fast and Furious franchise, the one that fathered Dominic Toretto's child, or the wife of Chris Hemsworth, Thor. She is a Spanish actress, but she's fluent in like 4 languages. I think English, Portuguese, Spanish, and French. She's in this one, Interceptor. And the reason why I mention her is that she has the opportunity to shine here. We'll get to that in just a second. IMDb gives this movie a 4.4. Rotten Tomatoes, 43%. Not very often both channels are pretty much lockstep what they think of this movie. It's a little bit of a jarring scenario coming out of Top Gun. I'm not trying to do spoilers for Top Gun Maverick, but like the original Top Gun, they don't really say who the villain is, who the nation is in that film. It's just kind of like understood what they're about and what they want to do, but it's never like this nation or that nation. But Interceptor is the opposite. 10 seconds in, they say, hey, look, if we get fired on by nuclear weapons from Russia, there are 2 sites on the planet that can stop those missiles from hitting the United States. And the first stop in Alaska gets compromised in the first 30 seconds. So it comes down to a rig in the middle of the ocean, SBX-1. This is where it takes place. And so at first I was kind of intrigued with the idea of having the last line of defense for the United States. But when the fort in Alaska is compromised so soon, I realized this is going to take mostly on this waterlogged base, I kind of go, okay, not in a bad way, but rather this is going to be an assault on Precinct 13. That's pretty much what happened in the first hour. But Elsa Pataky, is my original point, is an actress what I really liked when she played a law enforcement character in the Fast and Furious franchise. She gets to do more of that here in this film. She is a Spanish actress, therefore she has a Spanish accent, and they try to write it off as her playing an American captain who has a Spanish mother and it was raised in Spain. Usually, I'll say a generation ago, having an accent used to be the death knell for actresses of color or different parts of the world, but that apparently we get past that. With a line, it disappears. It's not a big of a deal. She is a badass in this film, and I can see from an actor standpoint why'd you want to do it, right? You're so used to being a girlfriend character or the sassy best friend character, or someone goes, no, we're going to give you a movie where you're going to be the one that tote the guns, you get in the action scenes, you get to be on top. Why not? And I would say why not too. The problem is this film, it's kind of a mess. Perfect film to have on in the background when you're doing something else. In fact, according to my other lives online. I have this video game streaming channel, and I was building up some equipment for that. And I had this movie playing on the background. And frankly, you don't really miss a beat. It's only an hour, 30 minutes, 38 minutes long. But the idea of stopping the attack from the Russian missiles by way of an American turncoat who's working with the Russians, therefore, is kind of said over and over and over again. Stuart Beattie is the writer of this one and has made his name for himself for writing plenty of video game scripts, and you can hear it here. A lot of the dialogue is kind of clunky. I'm not sure if it's a delivery issue or a writing issue, but it does seem like it's at home in a video game. Like if it was a cutscene, I would say okay. But as far as those acting in it and saying those lines, they do come off as a bit wooden. Now, Elsa Pataky is a fine example of taking blank and making chicken salad of it, but she can't do everything alone. There's enough twists and turns in there, enough backstory in there to pad out the runtime, but it doesn't really seem to hit home. It seems kind of disjointed. There is an underlying drive to talk about female empowerment, but it's painfully obvious it was written or produced by male contributors. So it is about female empowerment, but not in a way that seems organic. Now, I know I'm a guy, so I can't speak for the entirety of the female experience, but when someone says, or someone has a character write a male character turn to a female character and go, "You're a good woman. You are just everything that embodies what this is about," I go, I'm sure there's way more subtle or effective ways to do that. But you know what? Nothing overly offensive here. It wasn't like I hated it. I didn't feel like I wasted my time. I didn't feel like I could have done other things, but it's definitely a movie that you can have in the background, basically space out for anywhere between 7 and 15 minutes at a time and still get a handle of what's going on. And in the grand scheme of things, like if this was a movie in a theater that I paid a premium to sit in a chair, I would probably walk out disappointed. But is a Netflix original film on the Netflix platform in an era we have a glut of content, sometimes you need movies that go down pretty easy breezy. That said, there's enough blood, there's enough violence to warrant his, I think, R rating, or it's heavy PG-13 rating, if not R. So I can't say watch it with the family or kids, but there is a lot worse things to watch on that platform. IMDb had given it a 4.4, Rotten Tomatoes 43%. I was going to be a bit more lenient here and give it a solid 5 out of 10. It was easy breezy cover girl. It comes in, it gets out of here, doesn't try to do too much, doesn't try to like reinvent the wheel, but I'm sure it reminds you of other films you have seen elsewhere. That's Interceptor. Thank you so much for listening to this edition of Flobo on Netflix. I'll be back with more episodes down the pike. It's June. I'll probably be out there in the beach celebrating my birthday, somewhere warm, somewhere sandy with a drink in hand. Until next time, this is Flobo, on Netflix.